Welcome, everyone. If you've spent any time building retrieval-augmented generation systems in production, you've almost certainly hit this moment. Your pipeline looks clean, your embeddings are solid, your LLM is capable, and yet your answers are still missing the mark. Documents that should be retrieved aren't, or the retrieved chunks are too noisy to be useful. More often than not, the culprit isn't your model, it's your chunking strategy. Today, we're going deep on one of the most underappreciated levers in RAG system design: how you slice your documents before they ever touch an embedding model. We'll cover the trade-offs between fixed size, semantic, hierarchical, and late chunking approaches, with real benchmarks, production patterns, and the decision framework you need to choose the right strategy for your use case. Let's get into it. Here's the core tension at the heart of RAG system design. Your embedding model has a fixed context window, typically 512 to 8,192 tokens, depending on the model. Your documents, however, range from a 200-word FAQ answer to a 300-page technical manual. You need to bridge that gap, and the mechanism you use is chunking. But chunking is not a solved problem. Consider this. In the 2024 BEIR benchmark analysis, the same document corpus, embedded with the same model, showed a 41-point spread in recall at 10 between the worst and best chunking strategies. 41 points, not from model selection, not from fine-tuning, just from how the documents were sliced. The problem has three dimensions. First, granularity. Chunks that are too small lose context, chunks that are too large dilute signal and hurt precision. Second, boundary coherence. Splitting mid-sentence or mid-concept creates chunks that are semantically broken. Third, retrieval generation alignment. What retrieves well and what the LLM can reason over effectively are often different sizes. This is the problem space we're solving today. Before we evaluate specific strategies, I want to give you the mental model that makes everything else click. Think of a document as having three layers of structure: the surface layer, raw text and tokens; the semantic layer, propositions, sentences, and paragraphs that carry complete units of meaning; and the conceptual layer, sections, topics, and argument chains. The ideal chunk sits at the intersection of two constraints. It must be small enough to carry a focused, retrievable signal. So when a user asks a specific question, your vector search can actually find it. And it must be large enough to be coherent when handed to the LLM. So the model has enough context to generate a grounded answer. The diagram here shows this as a retrieval generation tension curve. As chunk size increases from left to right, retrieval precision decreases. More noise enters the retrieved set. But generation quality initially improves as the LLM gets more context, before plateauing and then degrading when chunks become incoherent walls of text. The sweet spot, that valley in the combined loss curve, is what every chunking strategy is trying to find. The difference between strategies is how they find it, and for which types of documents. Let's walk through the four primary chunking paradigms. I'll describe the architecture diagram on screen. Strategy 1. Fixed size chunking. The simplest approach. Split every n tokens with an optional overlap window, typically 256 to 512 tokens, 10 to 15% overlap. It's fast, deterministic, and trivially parallelizable. The problem is it's document blind. It will split a SQL query in half, cut a sentence at a clause boundary, or split a table row from its header. Precision suffers in structured or technical documents. Strategy 2. Recursive character splitting. This is what LangChain popularized. You define a hierarchy of separators: double new lines, single new lines, sentences, words, and the splitter tries each in order until chunks are within your size limit. It's significantly better than fixed size because it respects natural text boundaries. This is a solid baseline for most unstructured prose. Strategy 3. Semantic chunking. Rather than splitting on character boundaries, you embed consecutive sentence windows and split where cosine similarity drops below a threshold. This finds topic transitions in the text itself. It produces variable length chunks that map to coherent semantic units. The trade-off is compute cost and the sensitivity of the similarity threshold. Set it too tight and you get tiny fragments, too loose and you get oversized blobs. Strategy 4, hierarchical or parent-child chunking. This is the architecture pattern that's gained the most traction in production systems over the past year. You index small child chunks for high-precision retrieval, but when a child chunk is retrieved, you return its larger parent context to the LLM. You get the precision of fine-grained search with the coherence of larger context windows. This is the strategy used by LlamaAI's auto-merging retriever and several enterprise RAG platforms. Let's look at a production implementation of the hierarchical parent-child chunking pipeline in Python. The core insight in this code is the two-index architecture. On lines 12 through 28, we're building two separate data structures from the same document. The doc store holds the full parent chunks, typically 512 to 1024 tokens, keyed by a UUID. The vector index holds small child chunks of 128 tokens, each carrying a parent ID metadata field pointing back to its parent. Look at the retrieval function starting at line 34. When a query comes in, we embed it and search the child vector index. This gives us precise hits. But notice, we don't return the child chunks to the LLM. We use the parent ID to fetch the full parent from the doc store, and we deduplicate. Multiple child hits from the same parent only return that parent once. The annotation on line 41 is worth highlighting. Context dedupe. In high recall scenarios, you'll often retrieve 5 or 6 child chunks that all map to the same parent. Without deduplication, you'd send that parent to the LLM multiple times, wasting tokens and inflating cost. This pattern, small index, large context return, is the architecture behind most of the production wins I'll show you in the case study slide. Now, let's ground this in production reality with a direct comparison. The left column on this slide represents fixed size with overlap, still the most common approach in production RAG systems as of today. The right column represents hierarchical chunking, the direction most high-performance teams are moving. On recall at 5, fixed size with a well-tuned overlap hovers around 71 to 74% on mixed document corpora. Hierarchical approaches in the same benchmarks land at 84 to 89%. That's a meaningful gap. On precision at 5, the story flips slightly. Fixed size often has better precision on short, consistent document types. Think FAQ databases or product catalogs where documents are uniformly structured. Semantic approaches outperform on long-form, heterogeneous corpora. The operational trade-off is real. Hierarchical chunking requires maintaining two data structures, adds indexing latency, typically 2 to 4x slower than fixed size, and introduces a tuning surface around parent chunk size, child chunk size, and the merge threshold. For teams with limited MLOps bandwidth, this overhead matters. My rule of thumb, if your documents are all the same type and length, fixed size with overlap is often good enough. The moment you mix document types, PDFs, Markdown, HTML, transcripts, semantic or hierarchical chunking pays for itself quickly. I want to spend a minute on failure modes, because this is where most teams get surprised in production. Failure mode 1, the overlap illusion. Adding overlap to fixed size chunking feels like it should fix boundary problems, and it does for simple prose. But for structured content like tables, code blocks, or numbered lists, overlap often makes things worse. You end up with partial table rows that look like complete data, or fragmented code snippets that embed poorly and retrieve as false positives. Failure mode 2, semantic threshold sensitivity. In semantic chunking, a similarity threshold that works beautifully on your test set can fail silently on production documents with different writing styles. A technical paper switches topics differently than a legal document or a support ticket. If you tune your threshold on one domain and deploy on another, you'll see degraded chunk quality that won't show up in embedding metrics, only in end-to-end answer quality. Failure mode 3, the long context retrieval trap. With models now supporting 128K plus context windows, some teams skip chunking altogether and stuff full documents into the prompt. This works for single document QA, but breaks down at scale. It also masks retrieval quality issues. You're no longer measuring retrieval, you're measuring the model's in-context searchability, which is a different and less controllable property. These aren't theoretical. I've seen each of these surface in production systems at real costs. Let me walk you through a concrete production case that illustrates these trade-offs. This is based on Notion's AI Q&A system, which they described in technical detail in their 2024 engineering blog. Notion's document corpus is genuinely heterogeneous. Pages range from single-line quick notes to multi-section wiki articles with embedded databases, toggle lists, and callout blocks. Standard fixed-size chunking was producing poor retrieval because Notion's block-based structure doesn't map cleanly to character counts. Their solution was a structure-aware chunking strategy that treated Notion's block types as semantic units. Paragraphs, headings, and lists each became their own chunk candidates. The system then applied a size normalization pass, merging adjacent small blocks up to a 400-token threshold and splitting oversized blocks at sentence boundaries. The result was a hybrid that looks like document structure chunking at the coarse level and sentence-level chunking at the fine level. The outcome? A 23% improvement in retrieval relevance scores on their internal evaluation set, with particular gains on queries that spanned multiple content blocks, the exact scenario where fixed-size chunking consistently failed. The lesson here isn't use Notion's exact strategy. It's that document structure is a signal, and the best chunking strategies treat it as first-class input rather than stripping it away. Here's the frontier insight that I think most teams aren't using yet, but will be within the next 12 months. The fundamental limitation of all the strategies we've discussed is that chunking happens before embedding. A chunk is embedded in isolation, stripped of the document context that gives it meaning. A sentence like, "This approach reduces latency by 40%, embeds very differently depending on what this approach refers to. But by the time it's in your vector index, that context is gone. Two emerging techniques are attacking this problem from different angles. Late chunking, introduced by GenerativeAI in late 2024, inverts the traditional order. Instead of chunking then embedding, you embed the full document first using a long context embedding model, capturing cross-chunk contextual representations, and then pool the token embeddings into chunk-level vectors. The result is chunk embeddings that carry document-level context. On MTEB benchmarks, late chunking showed 6 to 11% improvements on retrieval tasks with strong positional dependencies. Contextual retrieval, Anthropic's approach, published in September 2024, takes a different path. Before chunking, use an LLM to generate a short contextual summary for each chunk, a few sentences that anchor it within the broader document. That summary is prepended to the chunk before embedding. This addresses the same isolation problem through augmentation rather than architectural change. Both approaches have real costs. Late chunking requires long context embedding infrastructure. Contextual retrieval adds LLM inference per chunk at index time. But for production systems where retrieval quality directly drives revenue, the trade-off increasingly makes sense. Let me leave you with 5 decision-making heuristics you can apply immediately. 1. Match your strategy to your document structure. Uniform, short-form documents, use recursive character splitting with tuned separators. Long-form, heterogeneous documents, invest in hierarchical or semantic chunking. 2. Measure end-to-end, not just retrieval. Chunk recall at K is a proxy. What matters is answer faithfulness and relevance. Always evaluate the full pipeline. 3. Index small, return large. The parent-child pattern is the highest leverage architectural change you can make to an existing RAG system. It typically costs 1 afternoon of refactoring. 4. Your overlap strategy is not neutral. Overlap helps prose, it can hurt structured content. Audit your document types before defaulting to a fixed overlap percentage. 5. Plan for late chunking. If you're building or rebuilding a RAG pipeline in 2025 or 2026, architect it to support late chunking or contextual augmentation at index time. The infrastructure cost is low, the performance ceiling is significantly higher. Chunking is not a pre-processing detail. It is a core design decision that shapes every downstream component in your RAG architecture. I've curated the resources on this slide to give you the fastest path to going deeper. For benchmarking frameworks, the Beer benchmark and MTEB leaderboard are the canonical references for evaluating retrieval quality across chunking strategies, both linked here. For implementation, the LlamaIndex documentation on auto-merging retrieval and LangChain's text splitter module documentation are the best starting points. Both have been updated within the last 6 months. For research papers, the GenerativeAI late chunking paper is worth a careful read. It's technically dense, but the evaluation methodology is excellent. Anthropic's contextual retrieval post is more accessible and includes concrete benchmark numbers. For production case studies, the Notion engineering blog post I referenced and Cohere's RAG evaluation guide both contain unusually honest discussions of failure modes, which, as you know, is rare in engineering content. All links are in the slide. I'm happy to share this deck after the session. To close with a question worth sitting with. Most RAG systems today treat chunking as a one-time, offline decision, made at index build time. But document corpora evolve. New formats get added, query distributions shift, user needs change. The teams building the highest performing RAG systems I've seen are starting to treat chunking strategy as a continuously evaluated, potentially adaptive component, something that can be retuned or swapped without a full reindex. That's the direction this field is moving. Thank you for the time and attention. I'm happy to take questions, whether that's on the benchmarking methodology, the implementation patterns, or the production failure modes. What are you seeing in your own systems?